Winter is officially over. It is spring. It is opening day, and they are tailgating outside Miller Park. Welcome to the 2011 Brewers home opener as they welcome the Atlanta Braves. And getting the ball first for the Brewers is going to be Chris Narveson. He gets the home debut as the Brewers look for their first win of the 2011 season. Our special first ceremonial pitch on the way. Let's go to Rob Edwards.
Congratulations, Green Bay Packers. Now as your Brewers begin working toward bringing another championship to Wisconsin, please open our home baseball season and throw your winning ways to the crew in today's ceremonial pitch. Champions, the Green Bay Packers. Thank you.
And the Toyota territory at Miller Park. It never, ever, ever gets old. The home opener, Miller Park, is electric here today as they announced the Brewers just a moment ago. Big ovations for all, and what a great moment it was as the Green Bay Packers were introduced here as well. All your favorite stars. Hopefully some of that favor from the Packers will turn into maybe a World Series appearance this year. Who knows? The expectations are high. Why not? We're ready to get the season started. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with. Great to have you with us. Happy opening day. Look at my partner over here. Isn't he looking good? And what's with the bow tie? That's outstanding.
Well, you know, it's opening day. Something's got to be special about the day, and it's opening day. It never does get old. particularly here in Milwaukee. Wisconsinites love opening day. They talk about it throughout the winter. It's a sense that, you know, winter's all but behind us, and the Brewers have a great ovation here today.
All right, you ready to do this?
I'm ready. I've been ready. Let's do it.
Let's go. The Brewers, their first home game, and it's coming up next. We got the lineups and the first pitch. Stay with us. It's right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
From season to season, the storylines change, but there's always an angle. The headline this time, Wisconsin winning. The Packers have already done it. The Brewers want to continue it. But success, it's most often referred to in the present tense. It doesn't care about the winter because that was the winter. All those stories have come and gone. Part of the news cycle. Like spring, hope is now renewed. Like the flowers and trees. Expectations? They never leave. Like baseball itself, they are confounding and compelling. Yes, on paper, the Brewers look to have what it takes to continue the Wisconsin winning. But there's also an urgency to success. You search for it in the most urgent hour. Now.
They are revved up here in Milwaukee at Miller Park, a sellout crowd as the Brewers take to the field. It is game one. The Atlanta Braves in town for the next four. The Brewers have started the season 0-3, but game one of the home schedule begins today. And it'll be Chris Narveson on the mound for Milwaukee, matching up against Freddie Gonzalez's Atlanta Braves. Freddie Gonzalez in his first year as the skipper in Atlanta. And here is his starting lineup, courtesy of Piggly Wiggly. Martin Prado will lead off, then Nate McLeod, followed by Chipper Jones. Middle of the order is Dan Uggla, Jason Hayward, and Alex Gonzalez. Freddie Freeman, David Ross, and Brandon Beachy round out Gonzalez opening 9. And there is the left-hander who gets the call for the home opener, Chris Narveson.
Yeah, you see the numbers for Narveson a year ago. 28 starts, a 12-9 record. And he finished the season very well. His last 7 starts, 3-2 with a 3.05 earned run average. And pretty much had the team made before spring training started.
First pitch of the ball game. A strike called, and away we go. James Hoy gets the call behind the plate, just his second full season as a major league umpire. It's Phil Cuzzy, Bill Miller, and Alan Porter on the bases. And I'm sure there was some nervous anticipation before that first pitch for Chris Narveson. Atlanta expected to be very good this year. They're coming off a series win against Washington. Took 2 out of 3 from the Washington Nationals. So they began the season with a long road trip. Meanwhile, the Brewers struggled in Cincinnati and are anxious to get things going on their home schedule here today.
Now you mentioned Chris Narveson has a bit of butterflies. It's going to be important for Narveson to have a good first inning to get that confidence. He probably felt as though this day was never going to get here. Team left spring training on Tuesday night, and here it is Monday getting his first action.
That's a good start. Casey McGee goes up the ladder on the soft liner, and 1 away. Let's check that Brewers defense for you, courtesy of Blaines. It's Braun, Gomez, and Niger Morgan in the outfield. Morgan gets the started right today. Casey McGee, Yudesky, Betancourt, Ricky Weeks, and Prince Fielder around the horn, with Will Nieves catching Chris Narveson. And with Corey Hart, the all-star, still injured, it has been a revolving door in the outfield. Today it is Niger Morgan. He becomes the 3rd different player for the Brewers to get a start in right field.
And one of the reasons why Doug Melvin decided to acquire him late in spring training to get spot starts. Guy with some experience that always ends up finding a way to get on base.
A late acquisition, Niger Morgan, and a very fast outfield here with the Brewers today. About as fast as you can get, as a matter of fact. With Gomez in center, world-class speed in Carlos Gomez, and Ryan Braun in left. 2-1 to McLouth, and he sends one out there to Ryan Braun. Well, we had a chance to catch up with Chris Narveson a few days ago about pitching the home opener.
I think it's pretty special, you know, being able to throw that first game in Miller Park. It's a great honor, and but it is the start of a long season, and hopefully we get to start off on the right foot.
Well, and it carries a lot of importance, doesn't it, today, with the Brewers having lost all 3 games in Cincinnati.
Well, Narveson can, be thinking about that, but a lot of the power on this club, the Atlanta Braves, is left-handed, including Chipper Jones, a switch hitter who has much more power left-handed, although he's been swinging the bat pretty well from the right side so far this year.
See what Jones has done, has a couple of RBIs, and they say Chipper Jones is back to his old ways. Somebody said he looks a couple of years younger. Joe Simpson, the Braves analyst, was saying he might be 5 or 6 years younger. He's very healthy and had a great spring. Probably one of the healthiest springs and starts to the season he's had in a long time.
It's been a couple of years since Chipper Jones has been 100%. Elbow problems, leg problems, you name it. Pretty consistent numbers except for the power for Chipper Jones throughout his career.
He begins play today just 5 hits away from 2,500 in his illustrious career. Under this one, Yudesky Betancourt, his first chance in front of the home crowd. And 2 men are out. Boy, there was a goosebump kind of moment here before the game, and our crew doing a great job covering all the ceremonies before the game. But the one that really got people going was the Green Bay Packers running out of that dugout and throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. That was something. You don't see Packers and Brewers in the same space very often.
Right. Well, the Packers winning the Super Bowl.
Got him picked off. Fielder's throw right on the money. We'll talk more about that when we continue. It'll officially go as a caught stealing. And the top of the first is in the books. Now the Brewers ready to bring the lumber to Miller Park once again. Like this, first-year manager Ron Renicky, after 11 years on the big league coaching staff for Mike Scioscia with the Angels. His first home game, his first game as a skipper here at Miller Park, and this is his first Miller Park starting lineup. It's brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Ricky Weeks, Carlos Gomez, and Ryan Braun started off. Then it's Fielder, McGee, and Betancourt in the middle, with Niger Morgan, Will Nieves, and Chris Narveson rounding it out. And that lineup will face Brandon Beachy, who will be a rookie this year, and he made this Atlanta starting rotation out of spring training.
Had a tremendous spring. 20 innings pitched, 21 punch-outs, only 4 walks. He's one of the young guns down in the minor leagues, getting an opportunity here today. He's got a good arm.
Just 3 games in the big leagues last year. He's from Kokomo, Indiana, and just 24 years of age. So how will the young rookie hold up in a very electric atmosphere here at Miller Park? His first pitch is in there for a strike, and you can tell right away Beachy has a good fastball.
Yep, he'll get it up there at about 93 miles an hour. He's got pretty good movement on it when he comes inside the right-handers.
Weeks is off to a great start. 2 home runs in the first 3 games, and both of those home runs to lead-off games. He has 23 career leadoff homers, which is second in the franchise to Paul Molitor, who has 33. 2 homers, 4 runs batted in already for Ricky Weeks. Weeks started the season with a home run. Got the season started with a bang. Also hit a tape measure shot yesterday in Cincinnati.
And swinging the bat with authority. We saw it throughout the spring. Spring training camp, the Brewers were swinging the bats pretty well down in Arizona, but were cooled off a bit in Cincinnati.
Weeks has 2 home runs and 2 doubles of his 4 hits this season. Behind in the count, 0-2 on Brandon Beachy. It'll be a 4-game series with Atlanta. Then the rival Chicago Cubs come to town on Friday. 3-game set with the Cubs. So 7 days in all to get the Miller Park experience started for Ron Renicky.
That's a new pitch right there for Beachy, a slider that he developed recently. It hasn't been throwing it all that long. He threw it in college, but that kind of went away from it. But he throws a lot of sliders now.
Well, Weeks has gotten a lot of deep counts early, doing exactly what a leadoff hitter should do. Not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. Such a power threat at the top of the batting order as well, as Weeks rips one into right center. And a base hit to get the Brewers started in the first inning. Nice at bat for Ricky Weeks.
Yeah, Ricky able to lay off the breaking pitches, sliders and curveballs, and Beachy ends up giving him a fastball middle in and fought it off. A little bit down on the trademark, but a good approach by Ricky, thinking the opposite field. So a good start to the day for Milwaukee.
Well, and now we'll see if the Brewers break out their aggressive style of baseball, which many of these fans have not seen as of yet. We saw a lot of it this spring, and that's really been the trademark for Ron Renicky. He has talked about not just stolen bases, but taking extra bases, being aggressive throughout the team with base running with his hitters. That means a lot of green lights on 3-0 counts.
Yeah, but you have to be smart about it. You have to understand what the situation is, what the score. Brewers having a tough time getting anybody on base in Cincinnati. That's why they didn't really have an opportunity to run too much.
Carlos Gomez with Weeks over at first. And a strike. Close play at first. Ricky Weeks just back.
Yeah, David Ross behind home plate, a very quick release and throwing behind the runner. You know, Ricky taking that big secondary lead, trying to beat a play at second, and nearly got caught. A little bit lower, that might have been a close play.
Brian McCann, the everyday catcher for the Braves. Today it is Ross against the left-hander Narveson. Gomez, a big cut and a miss. Such a big part of the plans this year, Carlos Gomez. And after a great spring where he showed tremendous approach at the plate, a lot of plate discipline, things kind of unraveled after the first day of the season. He was back to his old ways, taking his big swings, and I think the Brewer coaching staff wanted to make sure that, okay, season started. It's easy to fall into old habits, but let's get back to the things that we were doing this spring.
I think Dale Swain would have probably rather not had Gomez hit one into the upper deck his first at bat in Cincinnati.
That's right. That was his first at bat of the year.
Right.
Ball and 2 strikes.
And what I mean by that is, you know, Dale and Gomez worked so hard throughout the spring and taking a up the middle into the opposite field approach, hits that big home run. All of a sudden it looked as though Gomez was trying to do that every time up.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The count on Gomez. And the Brewers would like to see Gomez utilize the bunt a lot more this year. He's most comfortable bunting to the right side. Obviously not here with 2 strikes, but that's going to be another way to open up his game with his great speed. Weeks started, then stopped. Gomez strikes out. And 1 gone here in the first inning. And here comes Ryan Braun.
Third batter, number 8, left fielder, Ryan Braun.
Braun with a couple of home runs and a 4-for-11 start to his season. Both of his home runs have been tape measure jobs. Just missed it. High fly ball to left. Back is Gonzalez. And he'll take it and he'll make the catch. So 2 men are out. Weeks still at first base, and it'll be Prince Fielder.
Fourth batter, the first baseman, number 28, Prince Fielder.
Fielder in the final year of his contract. Much talked about contract that comes to an end here in Milwaukee this season. Who knows what the future holds for Prince Fielder, but he's glad to be in a Brewers uniform and anxious to be a big part of this team. Tell you talk to these players up and down, including guys like Fielder. They say it is the most talent that they've ever assembled since they've been in Milwaukee.
Yeah, both on both sides. I mean, on the mound and in the field. Guys can swing it. They got some good arms in the pitching staff. Got to get everybody healthy, though. Still missing Corey Hart, Jonathan Lucroy, Zach Greinke on the mound, and LaTroy Hawkins, Manny Parra. Got to hold it together until everybody gets back.
As Fielder gets hit by a pitch. A common scene last year. Fielder is aboard. It's not that pitchers are trying to hit Prince, but the only way to really have success against Fielder is to pitch inside. That's a pretty fine line in there.
Yeah, well, look where the front elbow is when he's taking his approach. Nearly hanging over that inside corner. Prince is right on top of the plate. You got to crowd him with the fastball. Everybody knows that. Second time he's been hit this year.
So Beachy with 2 on, 2 out. And Casey McGee, the club leader in runs batted in a season ago. He's already driven in 3 in the first 3 games of the season.
Yeah, a lot of fastballs by Beachy in the first inning. Topping out at 93 miles an hour. You figure he's a little bit amped up, just like Chris Narveson you would expect was. Be nice to jump on this kid early. Get an early lead.
2 on, 2 out. And a pretty good breaking ball from Beachy. That's his curveball, which is a pitch that on his scouting report is his breaking ball. But as Rock mentioned, he's picked up a slider this year as well. You can see his curveball is pretty good.
Yep, straight down. A 12-6 rotation at 75 miles an hour. Takes a lot off of it.
Now McGee down on the count, 0-2. And another one that missed. Had to go back to back. Now you figure McGee to bat with a ton of base runners this season. He's in a golden spot in the batting order, hitting behind Braun and Fielder.
And 3 in a row. We saw some sliders early in this inning, but we haven't seen any since. Threw some to Ricky, and that's been it, basically. It's been fastball, curveball the rest of the inning.
Well, a good slider is one of the toughest pitches to handle for a hitter, but a hanging slider is usually the one that ends up in the seats.
Yeah.
See how much confidence he has in that newly acquired slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and McGee skies one into short right. Jason Hayward is under it, and the side retired. The Brewers get a couple of base runners, strand them, and we're off and running at Miller Park. We head to the second.
Glad to be a Brewer this year. Happy opening day, Milwaukee.
Hola, mi nombre es Will Nieves. Estoy muy orgulloso de pertenecer a esta organización, los Milwaukee Brewers. Bienvenidos a la inauguración, Wisconsin.
斉藤隆です、ミルウォーキーブリュワーズに入団してとてもワクワクしています、オープニングゲームへようこそ。
That's a good way to get us started. And on the first pitch, Dan Ugler, the newest Brave, grounds out to Fielder. You know, baseball speaks all languages, and nice of those guys to do that for us in their native tongues.
Yeah. A lot of countries represented by the Brewers these days. You got Canada, right? Japan.
Puerto Rico with Will Nieves, the Dominican Republic.
Got, you know, players from Mexico and, of course, the United States. And I'll tell you, Will Nieves, I mean, have you ever gone up to Will Nieves and he hasn't had the biggest smile I've ever seen on any baseball player ever? That guy's never had a bad day.
Outstanding defensive catcher. Not only got the opener in Cincinnati, but gets the home opener as well, catching Chris Narveson today, facing Jason Hayward to start this second inning.
On the heels of Ron Renicky telling us a couple of days ago it was going to be pretty much of a strict platoon the rest of the way. So much for that.
Plans can change.
Yeah. You don't want to paint yourself into a corner. He said a soft platoon, which gives him some leeway.
The other catcher, George Kataris, a left-handed batter, more of an offensive threat. As Narveson tries to paint the corner on Jason Hayward.
Well, you like the way Narveson is throwing the baseball. What nerves he had, you would think, are gone after that clean first inning.
Took a little off, and Hayward is down on strikes. First strikeout for Chris Narveson.
That's the bread and butter for Chris Narveson, that changeup. That's what made him so good in his last 7 starts last year, keeping that changeup down in his zone and not afraid to throw it to left-handed batters. That's a nice pitch. Talking to Will Nieves before the game, the curveball, the changeup are going to be huge pitches for Narveson today.
Well, it's fitting that he makes his first start of the year against the Atlanta Braves. He grew up a Braves fan, specifically grew up idolizing Tom Glavine, and you can tell in his mannerisms on the mound what kind of influence Tom Glavine, then pitching for the Braves, had on the young Narveson.
Similar styles. You know, both of them need to keep the ball down, put it on the corners. You can only hope that Narveson has anywhere near the success that Tom Glavine had.
He takes the same kind of demeanor. You won't see much emotion from Chris Narveson, good or bad, which is why it makes him a pretty good fit for the home opener with all that goes on around the opening day in any ballpark. There's just so much activity going on around you, even though Narveson is isolated somewhat because he's making his start, but you can just feel the energy through the clubhouse and all of the pomp and circumstance, the introductions.
Starting pitchers are pretty much left alone on their day.
Little changeup missed, and that's the first walk issued by Narveson, base runner for Atlanta.
Hey, take the Brewers with you everywhere you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Brewers game live or on demand on your computer and your other favorite devices. Visit Brewers.com to order and to get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere.
Great to see all the fans here, and just a huge turnout today out in the parking lots, and you know, some of them even made it inside the ballpark for this game today. But really a great scene by the thousands they were tailgating. Good to be back with our crew as well.
Yeah,
what a terrific job that our television crew did behind the scenes with a 90-minute pregame and getting us ready for the first pitch to bring it into your living rooms and wherever you're watching this game today.
Doing triple duty for the pregame show today. Hour and a half. Well done. That was fun today. I got out to the parking lot today. Was in and amongst the tailgaters.
No bow tie out in the parking lot today, though. You weren't ready to break that out just yet.
You don't be wearing bow ties at a tailgate party. Even I know that. That's a little too formal.
Freddie Freeman at the plate for Atlanta, prized rookie prospect, getting his first chance in the big leagues, and he'll be the everyday first baseman. Atlanta has one of the top minor league systems in all of baseball, and a number of them have surfaced here in the big leagues. Freeman 2 for 10 on the young season. An excellent defensive first baseman, hits for a lot of power. And those who cover the Braves say it is his ability to hit left-handers that made the decision easy for Freddie Gonzalez to give him the starting job and basically let him play every day. A couple of left-handed players that are very young, Freeman and their right fielder Jason Hayward.
They're so high on him they let Derek Lee go. He's in Baltimore. They say that Freeman is a gap-to-gap type doubles hitter, and they're figuring at some point he's going to have some home run power. Of course, it's not easy to hit home runs in the ballpark in Atlanta. Turner Field.
Made it to the postseason last year. The Atlanta Braves won the wild card in the National League. Had a great series with the Giants. They took the Giants right to the end, and eventually succumbing to the World Series champion Giants. The most entertaining series of the division series last year of the 4. And the Braves expect to be back there this season.
And they're hoping they're going to be able to shore up their defense a little bit. One of the worst defensive teams in the National League. And ordinarily, when you don't play good defense, you don't get to the postseason. But the Braves did. Braves committed 126 errors last year. Very unusual for a Braves club.
The Brewers are going to see the Braves pretty quickly here. They turn around and play Atlanta in Atlanta the first week of May. And that is a 4-game series as well. So 8 games in the first 5 weeks of the season as Narveson strikes out Freddie Freeman. Side retired. Couple of strikeouts for Chris Narveson in the second. And Narveson with 2 scoreless on the board. The Brewers coming to bat. In Milwaukee, the home opener just getting started here at Miller Park. No score as we head to the bottom of the second. Want to remind you to click on the Fan Zone tab on the FoxSportsWisconsin.com homepage and win unbelievable prizes in the new Fox Sports Wisconsin Fan Zone. You can win team merchandise, game tickets, unique fan experiences, tech toys, and more. And if you're not a member, you can join right now. It's fast and free, and it's all at the Fan Zone tab on FoxSportsWisconsin.com. Uneski Betancourt into deep center field. McLeod is back, and it's off the top of the wall as Betancourt is off the schneid. His first hit as a Milwaukee Brewer, and you know that's got to feel good.
Wow, it was starting to wear on him just a little bit. The monkey off the back now. Gabe having a nice ride. Hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark, though. Nearly hit it out of here. A couple of feet, and it would have been a homer. He's going to provide some power for the Brewers this year. He'll hit some home runs and drive in some runs. Good to see him get the base hit.
Betancourt runs well. And in scoring position for Nyjer Morgan. Sporting the home whites. And a snap throw behind Betancourt, just back.
He likes to throw, doesn't he, David Ross? You don't want to be taking too many liberties out on the bases with this guy behind home plate. Look out. Big secondary lead. And you can see Gonzalez sneaking in behind him, and a good throw by Ross.
Pitch was called a strike on Morgan. And Morgan gets a bunt down. That's a good one. Ross fires just in time to get Morgan a sacrifice bunt. And with one away, Betancourt over to third base. And look at this crowd appreciating the small ball.
Now they know as well as anybody the problems the Brewers had dropping down bunts last year. You know, Nigel Morgan is just a good, solid baseball player. You like him out in the field. Ron Renneke giving him a start, you know, getting something going, get some more speed out there. He's going to be a nice addition this year.
So now Will Nieves with a runner at third and one away. Chance for the Brewers to deliver a run here in the second inning. Brandon Beachy has worked from the stretch a great deal in the early going. Nieves, a newcomer, former teammate of Nigel Morgan with the Washington Nationals. And all the talk about Morgan and him being a clubhouse problem perhaps, or Will Nieves says absolutely not. One of the best teammates he's ever had, a great clubhouse presence. He just has a fiery attitude, and sometimes it comes out on the field. But as far as inside the clubhouse with his teammates, couldn't be better, he says.
Plays with a bit of an edge. I mean, he was in the newspapers throughout the summer last year, a couple of collisions and things like that. But hey, why not? He's a former hockey player. He likes to play to contact, if you will. I like Nigel. He's a good player. Did well against Milwaukee.
Infield is in with one out, and Nieves strikes out, chased one. Oh, not a good at bat for Will Nieves.
Well, you get to this part of the batting order, and you know, if you're Nigel Morgan, I'm not sure if that was called from the bench or he did it on his own, but hey, you're up there in the 7th spot, you're left-handed. Why not just swing away and try and hit one to the right side instead of drop it down the bunt? You get your 8 and 9 hitters. You're asking them to drive those guys in.
Betancourt still at third, and now it's the pitcher Narveson who handles the bat well. But he is a pitcher, and he takes a strike. How about those numbers? That's a legitimate 327. This is a guy who was in the rotation for the last 4.5 months of the season. So a lot of at-bats in the air to left. Playable. Martin Prado, side retired, a promising start. A leadoff double, but the Brewers come up empty, and we are still scoreless. As we go to the third, we'll visit with the Brewers owner, Mark Atanasio, will join us in the booth when we continue. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk, your ticket to more. And by Subway. Try our $5 featured footlong of the month. Subway, where winners eat. A spectacular sight it is. Miller Park, the home opener. No score as we head to the top of the third inning. And Mark Atanasio joins us here in the booth, as is our custom on opening day. Great to have you. I know that you look around and you sit in this seat especially, which is the best view in the house, maybe other than your seat down there. But what goes through your mind on a day like this?
Besides wondering what Rock's doing wearing a bow tie, you mean?
It's been a lightning rod today, you know. You either love it or hate it.
This is one of my favorite days of the year. Opening of spring training, opening the season, and hopefully opening the first day of the playoffs.
I'm kind of anxious to hear what you had to say. I know you address the team before every season at spring training, but what were those comments like for you this year?
Well, every year I try to get onto a theme, and you know, this year I just talked about how we really had a lot of hope for this season, and we're committed to winning, and I, you know, also frankly just the, you know, the tone I had observed was really positive in the clubhouse, and you know, we're going to, you know, keep that up for the whole season.
Yeah, I really don't think any player could accuse you guys of not wanting to win with the acquisitions that you made. Can you talk us through, you know, the Zach Greinke acquisition and Sean Markham, and this is a good team you guys put together. Off to a slow start, but it's a good team.
You know, Bill, I did an interview earlier this morning, and I said, you know, the team that we see at the moment isn't exactly the team we put together, because, you know, Zach as the number one is really a shutdown pitcher, and you know, Sean, you know, Doug in the press conference today said he was a little amped up, was the words he used, and the first start as a Brewer. And importantly, Sean is really feels he's going to help shoulder the load for us. So we've got three legitimate, you know, opening day starting type pitchers, and what you're going to see this year is, I think, is that as the year develops.
Watching Chris Narveson today, a terrific year last year. He slots up one spot. There's so much going on, and we certainly have time to talk about all of it, but what's your favorite thing to talk about? Are you more inclined to comment on baseball operations or all this great stuff we're seeing around Miller Park today?
Oh, whatever. I'm happy to talk about all of it. You know, it's very exciting to come in and have the new scoreboard here. It did look like it shorted out for half an inning, so we're working through some of the kinks. But the ballpark feels very fresh, looking around all the things that we've done over the last several seasons. It's as nice a ballpark as you have in baseball, and very proud of that.
Ultimate man cave here, Miller Park, as David Ross flies out to center field, the first out of this third inning. But that's now Miller Park is in its, we're calling it the 10th anniversary. We begin the 11th season of Miller Park, and it still feels like a brand new venue.
Rick Schlesinger's been really terrific, and Bob Quinn, in kind of making sure that we always keep the ballpark as though it's brand new. And relative to Man Cave, I'm really proud of the fact that we got so many women coming out to the ballpark, and many of them in Brewers gear that you know, we sell down in the fan zone store here.
You know, other than the obvious, and we have that beautiful scoreboard up there. It's nice and bright, one of the biggest in all of baseball. What are some of the other changes to the ballpark, some of the new things that the fans can expect to see?
Well, we're always just letting that ground ball go through. We're always looking to upgrade the fan experience. So, you know, scoreboard is the main event for this year, and we've also upgraded the founder suites for this year, so that frankly, some of our most important sponsors have been with us for the 10 years. Are comfortable while they sit back and relax and watch Brewers games.
Visiting with Mark Atanasio.
Now look at all this Brewers gear when you're panning the crowd here. I will tell you, my first, and nothing was better than having those Green Bay Packers out today.
Yeah, right.
When I first came to Milwaukee, 2/3 of that crowd was wearing Packers gear.
Right.
And it will definitely turn the tide with that.
See Brewers gear everywhere. Spring training, wherever we go on the road, passionate fan base, and an opportunity this year, if the Brewers stay in this pennant race, can really make a push like you're expecting. You got a chance to draw with 3 million fans, which is extraordinary in this market, considering what the Brewers are all about at this point, as Prado delivers a base hit to left.
You know, Brian, all over baseball, I was just with the owner of the Cincinnati Reds, Bob Castellini, and they got obviously very fervent fans down there, but they drew about 2.4 million there. said to me, "Well, how do you do it?" And it's really a testament to the fan base. We're not doing anything special other than trying to make the venue and the fan experience the best it can be, and the team on the field the best it can be. But the Milwaukee fans are special, and everybody in baseball talks about it.
They have been a very loyal bunch for a long time, but when it's all said and done, it does come down to putting that product out on the field and winning some ball games, and they are expected. I mean, this year I think that the expectations for this team are a lot higher than they have been in the past.
Well, they are, and I think justifiably so. When last year, for example, when the Phillies got Lee, they I think had 57 wins. Therefore, or 5 starters now in the rotation. And last year, our 5 starters, if you include Zach, only in at 10 wins, like 52 wins. So our starting pitching really is quite strong. And once Zach is back, and I heard from Roger Kaplinger that he's really coming along nicely, and everybody else kind of settles in their groove, I think you're going to see a lot of well-pitched games, and you're going to start to see some offense. This club can rake. We all know it, and we saw a little bit of that Game 1. We didn't see a Game 2 and Game 3, but hopefully we're going to see some of it today.
Yeah, spring training, if that's any indication, these guys are going to swing the bats. Hit about 320 in spring training, and a lot of good performances down there. It seems as though the club has that, seems to be invigorated. And, talk about Ron Renicky and what your thoughts are of the Brewers manager.
Ron is a very upbeat guy. He's both even-keeled but upbeat, and he did a number of things during spring training to loosen the guys up every day. For example, one of the young guys had to get up, and they'd get to ask him whatever questions they want to ask him. And just did a lot of things to keep guys loose. And by the way, so you see it probably as tough a start to the season as we had in a while. And Ron is the same guy he was at the end of spring training. He's still upbeat. He's still smiling. He's still relaxed. And I told him today down in his office, I said, Ron, one thing of which I'm certain, you will get your first Major League win at some point.
Hopefully it is today, as we visit with Mark Atanasio. Narveson punches out Nate McLeod. You want to hang with us, watch some baseball?
Great. Sounds good.
All right, Mark will stay, and we'll see if the Brewers can get the bats going for the big boss as we move on to the bottom of the 3rd inning in a scoreless game. To get us started, like is the case every year, Joseph Atanasio, Mark's father, singing the national anthem. He did a great job. I love his national anthem. Shut up and listen.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming.
Oh man, is that a good voice or what? Just gives you goosebumps, doesn't it? And the kind of voice you can sing along to. And I know that's got to be a great moment for you and your family to see your dad doing that, even though he's done it every year since you've been the owner.
It gives me goosebumps every year. Brian, and every year he seems to do better and better. He always changes it up a little bit. And I walked off to said, "Dad, you're better every year." He said, "Well, you know, Mark, I try to keep it fresh."
Is he like everybody else? I mean, you could do 1,000 of these opening days, and Bob Uecker, 56 opening days for him. He still says he gets little goosebumps on opening day.
I got a picture of my dad. I sent it to family members before the game or before the anthem. He was taking photographs of all the introductions. So I took a picture of him taking photographs, and I said, "Dad looking very nervous before the anthem."
So I guess the answer to that is no, right? He's not nervous.
He just goes out and by the way, he doesn't warm up. He just goes out and does it.
Hey, when you have a voice like that, no warm-up necessary. Just belts it out. So that's the way our day started today, and it was a great way to start it. Of course, the Packers came out, ceremonial first pitch. As Ricky Weeks sends one deep into left center. This one's got a chance. Goodbye! Home run for Ricky Weeks. Already his third of the year, and the Brewers are on the board at Miller Park in 2011.
He's dialed in right now. He is swinging it bat with authority, and when he's getting a pitch to hit, he's not missing it. Check this out. I mean, you can't hit a ball any harder than that. He left that one over the plate. It was supposed to be on the corner, and you can't make mistakes like that to Ricky. Good extension.
How about the sound of that baseball coming off the bat of Ricky Weeks? You knew it was gone the time it left the bat.
Yeah, you're always, Mark, concerned about giving long-term deals to certain players, but I don't think anybody's concerned about the commitment and the effort for Ricky for the time of his contract. He's one of those guys you don't mind giving long-term deals to.
Well, and Ricky is one of the quiet leaders of our club. You know, we talk a lot about Prince and Ryan and some of the veteran leadership of Craig Counsell, but Ricky Weeks, day in and day out, comes, plays hard. A couple of years ago, he took a pitch in the face,
right,
and never came out of the game. So he's a guy, and leading off, he sets the table for the rest of our club, and really one of our unsung heroes.
Gomez, a bouncer out to Ugla, and Carlos Gomez is retired. There's a happy fan, the first home run souvenir of 2011.
Well, I know he didn't catch that on the fly because that was a bullet out there.
That's when you stop rolling.
Let pick it up out of the nachos out there.
Nachos and the Miller beer.
That's right.
Weeks off to a great start. It's interesting that all of the Brewers' home runs at this point have been solo home runs. 7 home runs for the year for Milwaukee, and of course Ryan Braun's name is attached very early to the MVP possibilities, but I think you have to put Ricky Weeks in that category just because of the kind of talent he is. If he stays healthy, again, he will put up the numbers, and he's already done it in the first 4 days of the season.
Yeah, I think everybody has to remember how young Ricky was and inexperienced at the minor league level when he came up, early on. And he's just starting now to show you what he can do, and it's always been about being healthy and staying out on the field like he did last year, and he'll put up the numbers. He's that talented.
And it looks like, Mark, moving forward, and we talked about the long-term contract for Ricky, but guys like Ryan Braun, I hear a lot of comments. It's died down a little bit, but as we went through the Hot Stove League, that the Brewers are all in. This is their one shot to win a championship, and outside of Prince Fielder, there are a number of players who are locked up for more than 1 year.
Well, we've got long-term agreements with Ryan, Corey Hart, Ricky Weeks, Giovanni Gallardo, and all the pitchers we have are under the age of 30 and under contract for the next couple of seasons. And so it's not as though this is the only year that we're quote all in. And look, we're committed to trying to be competitive in the long term as well. So we've got a number of young players who've grown up here who are under contract, and we're gonna just keep trying to keep our good players with this organization.
A very experienced team
right now. We appreciate his time.
You can't be messing around with the bench coach with the man at the plate.
Chipper Jones out to Betancourt and one away. Narveson looks good so far.
It was a shame because I was going to ask him if he got A's in penmanship in elementary school.
That'll be a question for another day, but if you have not seen the Jerry Narron lineup card, it is
gorgeous,
fascinating. It is unbelievable, and the extra step of writing Takashi Saito's name in Japanese.
Right.
Something he learned a few years back. Said
I
he used to do it in Baltimore.
I wonder if you make side money filling out wedding invitations. That calligraphy he's got, very nice.
It reminds me of a PGA Tour leaderboard. You know, the handwritten leaderboard they have at the venue, and that's the only time I've ever seen anything like it. As Ugla gets out ahead of a changeup, and an easy play for Ryan Braun for out number 2.
Well, I like the way Chris Norrison has been able to pound the strike zone, get good quality strikes with the fastball, and trying to get his outs with the off-speed stuff. I haven't seen too many curveballs. He's basically going, fastball, changeup, cut fastball from time to time. Has been able to keep that curveball in his back pocket for the most part.
Ricky Weeks with a home run in the bottom of the 3rd inning, representing the only tally so far today, as Narveson faces Jason Hayward with 2 outs in the 4th. Narveson struck him out in the 2nd inning. Hayward homered on opening day again this year. He did it last year. Quite a debut in Atlanta for Jason Hayward. And as you acquire at-bats in the major leagues, you start to have a scouting report and a bit of a shift on for Hayward.
Yeah, not a dramatic shift, but if he's going to hit the ball to the opposite field by looking at that defensive alignment, it's usually in the air. They're giving him a lot of room down that left field line. There's that cut fastball we were talking about right there. Good pitch on a 3-1 count. Really has good command, keeping the baseball down. That's a guy right there that he just walked. You have to be careful with when you get behind an account. He will take you deep. There isn't a whole lot of power in this lineup right now for the Atlanta Braves. You can talk about Chipper, Ugla, Hayward. But you get behind a hitter like that guy, Hayward, you got to be careful. You're best off just pitching around him and going after the next guy.
And the next guy for the Braves is Alex Gonzalez. 2nd walk issued by Narveson. A 2-out walk. Gonzalez takes strike 1. Gonzalez coming to the Braves last year. It was a trade that made a lot of sense for Atlanta. They shipped out Yunel Escobar to the Blue Jays for Alex Gonzalez. Long thought to be one of the best defenders at the shortstop position around baseball.
And that's something that the Atlanta Braves have to improve upon from last year. Had great starting pitching. They've got big arms in the bullpen, but their defense was not very good.
And Narveson goes up the ladder. He strikes him out. So another strikeout for Chris Narveson and another scoreless inning. A super guest in the booth when we come back. Nothing. The Brewers lead the Atlanta Braves on a Ricky Weeks home run. And we got a great guest here in the booth, man. I'm talking about some Super Bowl favor coming down on Milwaukee. Ryan Grant, great to see you. Welcome to Miller Park.
How are you?
Glad to be here.
How you feeling, first of all? I think everybody wants to know how that ankle is healing up.
Ankle's great, no problems, good to go. I can play right now, you know, if we actually had an NFL right now. But, you know, when things do get done, I'll be fine.
You're not out there playing soccer or anything like
soccer,
Ocho Cinco?
No basketball. Yeah. You know, hats off to Ocho Cinco, to Chad, for what he's doing. But, no, I'm going to stick to getting myself right for football.
It had to be a bit bittersweet for you last year, you know, hurting your ankle early on, not being able to, you know, do a whole lot. But, hey, Super Bowl had to be a big thrill.
Absolutely. Not bittersweet. It was hard just because with my competitive nature and everything we put into it, the amount of work we put into it. But very sweet. You know, just to be a part of that experience was awesome because a lot of guys, I don't want to take it for granted, a lot of guys don't even get a chance to be there at all. So I did. But it just let me know that all my goals are still ahead of me, and it just made me that even more hungry because, you know, I'm hungry now because only one thing could have been sweeter than being at that Super Bowl, and that's if I was playing in that Super Bowl. So I'm going to try and get after it this year.
So, you know, basically you might have tacked on an extra couple of years to your career, right?
Yeah, that's how I see it. This is the best I've felt in a long time, probably since about 2007. So the fact that I didn't take that pounding this year, I can get my body wherever I want it to be and make sure I come in the best condition and work on what I need to work on. So I do expect to be ahead of the curve this year as opposed to where I was.
Packers running back Ryan Grant with us here in the booth. Super Bowl champion is Betancourt, lines one back up the middle. And a 2-for-2 day for Uneski Betancourt.
Yeah, he's locked in now. I tell you, a tough series in Cincinnati. But he has stung the baseball very well his first 2 times up here.
Good start to the inning for Milwaukee. As you see, Betancourt with his second base hit of the ball game.
Yeah, down and through, not trying to pull it and shooting it right back through the middle. That's what they call going, you know, running north to south, right?
Between the tackles.
I guess so. There you go, right down the middle.
Up the middle, the tough yards.
Absolutely.
Ryan Grant is with us, and what a great day today at Miller Park with so many of Ryan's teammates with the Packers here. And bringing some of those Super Bowl rings. I'm looking here. I notice you don't have
no ring
on, which is very, very disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing. We haven't gotten them yet, so I can't.
Thought they maybe break out the replica for the Brew Crew today. But I understand you had quite a trial to get here. Amazing travel story today for Ryan Grant.
Funny travel day today.
Like planes, trains, and automobiles.
All types of stuff. I did everything I can to get to Miller Park, but nice. Yeah, my car service that was supposed to pick me up to take me to the airport from New York. As we went to go stick my hand to open the car door, he locked the door and drove off. Which sounds crazy, but that's exactly what happened. Very slow, drove off. I actually thought he was making a U-turn.
Giants fan, was he?
I don't know. Yeah, he must have been a Giants fan or something. I don't know. He evidently wasn't a Packers fan. But he drove off so slow, I thought he was making a U-turn and kept going. And I looked at my brother and my friend and said, "Did we just get pranked? Is this a joke?" And then I said, "They must be bringing another car or something." And then I realized we don't have no time. I have to drive. So I drove to the airport. Ended up, because of rush hour traffic in New York, missed my original flight. Got booked on another flight that was going to get me here too late. So I ended up having to take a private jet. I had to drive to another airport that was about 40 minutes away and take a private jet to get to Miller Park so I could be a part of this.
Because you made a commitment to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, I told the Brewers I was going to be here, so I got to make sure I'm here.
Man of his word.
That is awesome.
Now, how much, just top of your head, how much does a private jet cost from New York to Milwaukee?
A lot of money. a lot of money.
You know, Mark Ananasio was just in here. Maybe you can...
I made sure that my friends and my friend and my brother enjoyed it. I said, "You better enjoy this."
Yeah.
Make sure you better enjoy this. Stay awake the whole flight.
Great. Ryan Grant takes a private jet to be here for opening day, and that's beautiful, man.
Well, you know, I'm glad to be here. It's something special. You know, the Brewers have shown great support to us as Packers, what we've done. The whole state, you know, Milwaukee, the city. So, you know, the fact that they asked us and asked me to be a part of this is an honor. And, you know, I did. I gave my word, so I'm going to make sure I was here.
Yeah, well done. We're very fortunate to have fans in Wisconsin like they are. I mean, no football fans better than at Lambeau Field, and we think the same here at Miller Park. How often have you been to Miller Park?
This is my second time here. First time, of course, for opening day, but this is my second time being here. Yeah, the fans here are the best. Like I said, I think people take it for granted. They don't know until they go somewhere else, or if they've been somewhere else, they get a chance to see it. But the fans in Wisconsin, the fans in Milwaukee are by far the best fans around. Die hard about their teams. They support them through the thick and thin, and they're awesome. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
We got to come up with a way for guys who hit home runs to have a Lambeau leap.
Something. Yeah, it's kind of high though. I don't know where they would have to go. I don't know where they'd be able to leap to. It seems kind of high. Maybe maybe in a dugout or something like that.
First row,
dugout.
maybe?
Yeah, first row dugout leap. They could probably lift their leg over that.
Might result in a fastball in your ear next time up. That's the only
exactly.
problem.
Yeah. See, that's the only. Yeah, I'm not really feeling that. They can hit you and get away with it.
Yeah.
That's right.
And you can't hit them back. So I don't know if I can do that because I'm used to the guys that try and hit me. I get after them because I can hit them first.
Mm-hmm. Ryan Grant is with us. Packers running back, 2 times a 1,000+ yard rusher in the NFL. Coming back from an ankle injury, and great to have Ryan and many of his teammates here today. How was your first pitch experience? Did you make it all the way to the plate?
I did. Unfortunately, I did see a couple guys skip it. I saw a couple.
Anybody
of
you'd
those
like to name?
Yeah, I'm going to call him. He's a rook. Frank.
Oh, okay.
Zumba. Definitely skipped the ball. And as soon as we were walking walking back out, he said, "I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe, how did I skip the ball on opening day in front of the whole crowd?" He's like, basically you get that whole anxiety thing, and there's a bunch of guys, and he didn't want to overthrow it. He's a bigger guy, so he didn't want to overthrow it. Right. So, of course, what did he do? He underthrew it and definitely skipped the ball. And I told him, because I looked over and I said, I saw a couple of those balls skip, guys. Who was that? Frank was like, "I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe it. I skipped the ball." So anybody who saw that ball skip, it was definitely Frank.
Yeah, it's okay to skip it, but you don't want to maybe miss it by 2 guys and hit Prince in the head with it.
No. You don't. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we didn't get that done. So no, I don't think anybody hit anybody.
We have video proof of what you're talking about. So just right of center is Ryan, number 25 there.
I would.
Is that him right here?
You see 58?
58.
Definitely. You just missed it. 58 definitely skipped the ball.
Over on the right side. Here we go. This is like the Tom Landry show or Vince Lombardi show.
Is that him?
Oh, look at him. Watch. Yep, watch his ball.
Skip. Yep. Good call, Ryan.
Well, he was tentative. He was a little tentative. He didn't want to hurt anybody.
It's that kind of peripheral vision that makes him such a great running back, Rob. That's my NFL analysis.
I guess so.
He sees it all.
Now, you guys, set up to be good for a long time. NFL. I mean, young guys, youngest team in the league again, right?
Actually, I think we're the number 2, the second youngest team in the league. We do feel like we are, of course, every year's different, every season's, every team's different, but we do feel like we're built as a team to be in the mix for the next couple of years. I feel like football-wise, we might be pretty good. I think the way we handle success as a team is going to be important for us next year. But I feel like guys will stay hungry. Unfortunately, we had so many injuries, but the fact that we had so many key guys that got injured, I think that'll continue to keep guys hungry because they're going to come back and they won't be complacent. They'll be ready to get after it and get themselves back to that big game.
That's what made the season so incredible. I mean, all the injuries and everything, being able to get things together with Dom Capers putting things together, and it was an unbelievable season. Barely made the playoffs, but then went all the way through and run the table.
Absolutely. I think you have to give you have to take your hat off to the front office and to those guys in that locker room, to the coaches, to be able to stay together, stay on track. It made it a lot easier for me being injured and not being able to participate, to watch how those guys stuck with each other, kept fighting, stayed true to the system. The guys that came in stayed true and fell into the system. And didn't, you don't see that a lot because they don't have to. But they picked up some great guys who didn't know they shouldn't have been in there. Right. They fell right in and stepped up at a phenomenal rate. Guys were playing their butts off, so it was exciting to watch.
Hard to make that comparison between football and baseball, but the Brewers doing the same kind of thing right now. 5 players on the disabled list, so much expectation to start the year, and they'll be calling on players who might not otherwise be in that spot to deliver when it counts. And you're probably a great study in perseverance and a sluggish start here, 0-3, but in that clubhouse. They're expecting good things to happen this year. That's part of the game.
That's part of the game. You have to be able to persevere, get up. I think the Brewers will do that. They've got core guys. I've spoken to Ryan before. I know that the high expectations that they should have, and guys are going to fall in place. Things will get on the right situation and where they want things to go for this team. So I'm looking forward to it.
Ryan Grant, it's been great to get to know you a little bit. Thanks for coming up with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll be back on the gridiron soon, we hope. Ryan Grant, take a break. A tight one today. Top of the fifth. Brewers lead 1-0. Ricky Weeks, a solo homer in the third inning. The only tally of this ball game so far.
And today's time of the game winner is the new Twilight Bar and Grill in St. Germain. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours at 414-902-4572, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. This offer, as usual, courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
And our carsoup.com email to booth question comes from Stacy in Sussex. What is your favorite Milwaukee baseball tradition? Favorite Milwaukee baseball tradition? I'm going to go for roll out the barrel.
Okay, I like the Clements Racing Sausages.
Thought you might choose that one.
My favorite.
First ball swinging. Fielder with a nice play. One pitch, one out for Chris Narveson as Freddie Freeman is retired. Boy, it was great to have Ryan Grant. What a tremendous story. He charters a plane. That's not like hailing a taxi.
Yeah.
He charters a plane to get here.
I wonder who's going to get the invoice for that. That's a big league move right there. And a nice play by Prince on Foxmo. Taking his time and a perfect feed over to Narveson,
who has looked sharp here today. But the Brewers have had some chances to score, and they have let them slip by. Matter of fact, Beachy has 2 strikeouts on Will Nieves with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, Brewers had a golden opportunity last inning. First 2 men reached, and the Brewers were not able to advance them.
So Narveson facing David Ross. Beachy, the pitcher, will hit next. The bottom of the order in that Cincinnati series for the Reds is really what hurt Milwaukee in that set. So far today, Narveson has not allowed a base runner to the final 3 in the batting order. Narveson picking up some strikeouts. He has 4 thus far, to go along with 2 walks, and he's only given up 2 hits.
Well, he's been very efficient with his pitches so far. He's at 68 pitches right now as we enter the 5th inning, and has been very careful with his fastball. Getting ahead down in the zone, elevating the fastball from time to time, and the changeup has been money today.
That's the pitch count so far. Pretty efficient for Narveson, who figures to be able to stretch out to around 100 today. In his first start, he walks David Ross, so he lets the 8th place hitter get away, and a base runner for Atlanta.
Hey, won a free terrace level game ticket, then complete a BP come on back card by making 7 purchases of 8 or more gallons of gas at participating BP gas stations. Call 902-4000 or visit brewers.com for details.
Now it's Brandon Beachy trying to bunt the runner over. David Ross does not run well at first base, so it's not out of the question the Brewers could turn a double play here if Beachy bunts it to the wrong spot. You figure Beachy handles the bat decent enough. He was a college third baseman. Prince Fielder makes a quick trip over to the mound. Here come the infielders crashing in. Pitches inside. You start looking around at pitchers who played a position in college, and you figure, well, just because you don't have enough of a track record yet for these guys at the plate, you just assume they can handle the bat fairly well. Squaring early, and he bunts right through it.
And that's really all you ask from your pitching staff, your starters, to go up there and drop down bunts. Brewers pitching staff is unusual in the fact that they struggle with their bunts, but they can swing the bats pretty well.
Squaring early again, and Narveson tried a curveball that time. What's the toughest pitch to bunt?
High fastball, in my opinion. Tough to get on top of that pitch. Easy to pop up and easy to bunt right through, too.
The 2-2, and it's bunted foul, and that's going to be a strikeout for Narveson. Beachy unable to get the bunt down.
In my opinion, the easiest pitches to bunt are the off-speed pitches, the curveballs and the changeups. Which is why ordinarily when you see a pitcher squaring around, pitchers like to stay hard with the fastball. Or even a slider from time to time. That's an easy bunt to pitch up to pop up too.
See our AT&T trivia today. Which Brewer hit a walk-off home run on opening day 1980? That was before Bill Schroeder's time. So you can take him off your list. Of all those you had a thought about a walk-off home run on opening day. Were you in the organization in 1980?
I was. I was an 8-ball. Stockton, California, the Stockton Ports.
2 gone, top of the order, Martin Prado. Prado starts in left field today. He's also the insurance at third base for Chipper Jones. There's a good fastball. Narveson's had good command of his fastball today. He's really been able to thread that needle on the inside corner. It's not an easy pitch for a left-hander against a right-handed batter on the opposite side of the plate. Boy, that didn't miss by much.
No, it didn't. Little BP fastball at 81 miles an hour, just off the outside corner. But when you're up in the count 2-1, you can be selective. That was a bit low.
Hitters count. Prado, a good hitter. An all-star a season ago. Gets under one. Came right back with a fastball. It's Weeks and Morgan. And it's Morgan who makes the call. Nicely done. Narveson, 5 shutout innings on the board. Top of the order coming up. So far, so good. The Brewers have a 1-0 lead. The story is Chris Narveson. 5 shutout innings against the Atlanta Braves. He's given up just 2 hits, and both of those singles. Narveson with 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. And he just retired Martin Prado on a hitter's pitch. A 3-1 count got him to pop up.
Elevated the fastball just enough to get Prado underneath.
Ricky Weeks will lead off. He homered back in the 3rd. Representing the only score of this game, hit a rocket into left center field. And for Weeks, his 3rd home run of this young season, the Jimmy John's delivery of the game. That ball took no time to get out of here.
Yeah, it was a laser beam to left center.
Beachy has him down 0-2. Weeks with a single and a homer today. Now 6 hits on the season. He's 6 for 15. 3 home runs, 5 runs batted in. The Brewers have 4 hits. Weeks with 2 of them. Yuniesky Betancourt with the other 2. As Ricky's out in front. And it's going to be Freddie Freeman. Nope, it'll be Ugrett to make the catch. All right, our AT&T trivia. Which Brewer hit a walk-off home run on opening day 1980? What do you think? If you guess Sixto Lezcano, you would be right. That was actually a grand slam on opening day in 1980.
I knew that.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Just kept it quiet?
I'm not going to give away the answers anymore.
No, you just give away the questions.
They get real quiet in the production truck when I do that.
Now, do you remember that because you remember it because you were in the Brewer system, or just over the years of
opening day trivia questions?
Oh, you're saying that's been repurposed?
I think so. Mike Faulkner, our crack statistician.
Yes.
He says he was there for that.
I'm sure he was. I think he's seen every game, not just in Brewers history, but in Milwaukee Braves history. Seen them all. That was against the Red Sox, by the way. Sixto Lezcano's grand slam on opening day. There's a lot of stories like that. Folks who have been here for every opening day of Miller Park, every opening day in the franchise's history. Just connecting the generations.
Right.
And it's fun to get back into the Milwaukee Braves era when the Atlanta Braves come to town. So big part of Milwaukee baseball before they left for Atlanta. She's texting her opening day memories right now, as a matter of fact. See if Gomez can reach 0 for 2 today. Beachy struck him out in the first. Count stays at 2-2.
Yeah, rare changeup from Beachy. We haven't seen too many of those pitches, but Gave one up and into Gomez, and he hooked it way foul.
Got him again. He went up the ladder. And for the second time today, Gomez chases a high fastball.
Well, the pitch before was a changeup to set up this one. That letter high fastball that's very tough to get on top of, and the second time that Gomez has fallen victim to it. Hey, come out to Miller Park as the Brewers host the dreaded Chicago Cubs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, April 8th to the 10th. Tickets are going fast. Call 902-4000 or go to brewers.com today.
Did you ad-lib, or was that part of the promotion?
I added that. I added the dreaded. I have to admit. I don't do that very much.
Taking some liberties up here in the home opener. Got your bow tie on. You're dropping adjectives everywhere.
That's drawing quite the attention, hasn't it? That tie of mine.
I love it.
I thought I just kind of slipped through. Nobody really making much notice of it, but.
Did you really think you were going to slip through? I mean, I think you wore that tie just for the exact opposite reason.
So you think I was trying to draw attention to myself?
It's possible. Plus, your wife likes it.
Yeah, that's the main thing. If she says, you know what, I like a bow tie, I'm going to wear it.
Absolutely.
Unless I'm told by Mark, and he's kind of had mixed emotions on it. I thought in the beginning he was getting on me about it a little bit.
The owner kind of came up on him a little bit.
And then he kind of softened his whole approach to it.
Braun strikes out.
After you told him I'd be a doorman for him.
3 up, 3 down inning for Beachy. He now has 6 strikeouts. We go to the 6th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers. 6th inning, Miller Park, Milwaukee, and it's 1-0 Brewers on a Ricky Weeks home run. As Narveson is back on the mound, facing Nate McLouth, Chipper Jones, and Dan Udwell. McLouth had a hit in the first inning, opposite field single. Narveson struck him out looking in the third. This series reunites Nate McLouth and Nyjer Morgan, teammates in it. The Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, 2 big prospects for the Pirates. Nate McLouth was an all-star with the Pirates. Really had a rough time of it last year, riddled with injuries, and it was a big spring training for Nate McLouth. As to his future with the Braves, had a good spring.
Little changeup, just missed. Now the Braves putting a lot of stock in McLouth. I think you look at the questions for both of these teams to begin the year. Some of the areas of concern, they're very similar. There's a broken bat. The bat head follows the baseball. And McLeod is retired. One gone in the 6th as Narveson keeps it rolling here. He's been fantastic today so far.
He's only given up a couple of hits. He's walked 3, struck out 5, but he has been point on with the fastball. The changeup's been a terrific pitch for him. He's been able to elevate the fastball when he's been ahead in the count. It's just been a very good pitching performance under, I would think, a lot of stress for Chris Narveson pitching the home opener today. Handled it well.
See his pitches per inning. He's sitting at 86. In good shape. But you look at the Braves and the Brewers, both expected to make a playoff push this season. As Sean Markham and Randy Wolf, 2 starting pitchers, talk it over. There's questions in center field for Atlanta, just like there is in Milwaukee with Gomez. McLeod and Gomez, part of those questions. Atlanta has a young closer as well, Craig Kimbrell, who's actually not even been given the closer's duties per se. He'll get most of the opportunities early. The Brewers with John Axford, and infield defense is a question. So a very similar conversation for both of these organizations as they begin 2011. But all that said, the expectations of a postseason.
The Atlanta Braves have a tremendous starting rotation. We're going to see one of the big guns tomorrow, and that's Derek Lowe. Tommy Hanson and Tim Hudson.
Another broken bat. Long ranging for Weeks, can't get it. Had the shift on for Chipper Jones, and he has his first hit of the series.
Yeah, Betancourt was shaded around toward the hole, figuring that Narveson was going to attack him with the changeup. Expecting Jones to pull the baseball. He was going to hit it on the ground, but he waited back long enough. Broke his bat, got it on the end of the bat, but it was a base hit. They say Chipper's swinging the bat as well now as he has in a long time. And right-handed with some power, which is unusual for Chipper.
It wasn't too long ago. Jones was the batting champion in the National League. And a pretty good 1-2 punch in this Braves batting order with Jones and Dan Uggla, newest acquisition, who rejoins his manager with the Florida Marlins, Freddie Gonzalez.
So he can hit some home runs. He'll strike out a bunch. Always around the 30 home run mark with the Marlins. Tough out. Actually, he's had 30 more home runs in each of the last 4 years. And that's not easy to do in Florida. That's a tough ballpark to hit homers. Very humid, big gaps. You know, gap to gap, it's about as big as a ballpark as there is.
Had a huge year last year, 33 homers, career high, and 105 runs batted in. Big numbers for any player, but especially a second baseman. And this is the series that pits 2 of the most prolific hitting second basemen in the National League, and Ricky Weeks and Dan Uggla.
But I think Ricky brings a little bit more to the table. He'll give you that speed element. He's got the good on base percentage.
Another broken bat. Got a chance for 2 here. Betancourt to Weeks, and Uggla beats it down the line. Not enough on that baseball to turn it up.
And a good job up the middle by Betancourt and Weeks. It was kind of a long shot to turn 2. Last thing you want to do is rush it and get nobody. Maybe throw, if you're Betancourt, try and rush it, throw it in the right field. Get the shore out at second base.
Narveson has faced 3 batters in the 6th inning, and he's broken 3 bats. McLeod, Jones, and Uggla. All will need new lumber next time up. A dangerous hitter here for Narveson, Jason Hayward. And he starts him with a spinner for a strike.
He's starting to throw that pitch a little bit more. Do a nice curveball to Uggla. Do a good one to Hayward.
Change up this time, misses. Last time up, Hayward was batting with 2 outs. Narveson fell behind him and really didn't give in to it. He walked him, struck out Alex Gonzalez, the next hitter, to end the inning. So he has been careful with the big slugger. Got in on his hands. Nieves wants it. He's got it. Narveson cruising along. What a day today for the left-hander. 6 shutout on the board. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Airtran, go, there's nothing stopping you. And by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle, taste greatness. Everything looks better in Foxmo, even the sausage race. Athletes, that's what they are, athletes. There's a look at the beautiful new video wall here at Miller Park. It's been a lot of fun today. Great ball game going. A well-pitched game on both sides. 1-0 our score. Bottom of the 6th inning with Fielder leading off, and he gets under one. Playable for David Ross. 1 pitch, 1 out, as Fielder will take it about face.
I tell you, I have to be impressed with the way Brandon Beachy's been throwing the baseball. We've been talking about Chris Narveson. He's had very good command of his fastball. He's only made a couple of mistakes. Betancourt's hit the ball hard twice. And the Ricky Weeks home run, but very masterful job out there by the young right-hander.
Just 24 years of age. Kokomo, Indiana, his hometown. Interesting story in that he was signed as a non-drafted free agent. Every team had every round to sign him to a contract. Did not. He was a third baseman and a closer in college, a small college, Indiana Wesleyan. And that was in 08. Usually guys like that, it takes a long time for them to prove enough to make it to the big leagues. But here he is on an opening day roster just 3 years later.
Yeah, you have to be very impressive in the minor leagues when you start your professional career as a non-drafted player. It's those big prospects that seem to get all the breaks.
And Beachy punches out Casey McGee. Burned one off on the outside corner.
But in 2 levels of the minor leagues last year for Beachy. Had tremendous numbers, 119 in the 3rd innings. He had 148 strikeouts.
Wow.
I mean, that is tremendous. Anytime you have as many strikeouts as innings pitched, that's considered to be very good. He was way above that.
Well, last year he led all qualifying minor league pitchers. So those who had enough innings in earned run average all throughout minor league baseball, a 1.73 combined earned run average. And those 148 strikeouts Rock was telling you about led the Braves organization, and the Braves are thought of as having one of the best pitching rich minor league systems in baseball. The lefty George Sherrill. That's the first ball that Beachy has thrown in this inning.
And Betancourt with his 2 hits, both fastballs, and Beachy's thrown 3 breaking balls to him. Not going to fool him again.
In the air to right. Almost in the tracks of Hayward. That was a quick inning. As Beachy goes right through the Brewers order, and he has retired 9 straight.
Only been 1 run scored in this afternoon's game, and it came off the bat of Ricky Weeks. He belted his 3rd home run of the season to put the Brewers up 1-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Then after that, it's been all about Chris Narveson. 6 shutout innings. He only gave up 3 hits. All 3 were singles. He walked 3 and ended up striking out 5 as he is out the game. But once again, it's the Brewers on top of the Braves. 1-0 here in the top of the 7th. BA.
Okay, Telly, thank you. And there is Cameron Lowe next on the bump for Ron Renicky as he takes over in the 7th and a 1-0 Brewers lead.
Yeah, what more can you ask from Chris Narveson? The Braves never were able to get a man to second base today. I mean, that's pretty good pitching by the Brewers lefty.
All 3 hits, singles for Atlanta. Narveson's 6th shutout in his season debut, and now it's Lowe to face Alex Gonzalez. Cameron Lowe on the Brewers opening day roster last year, made it to the big leagues after a season in Japan in 09. Quite a comeback story of his own, Cameron Lowe. The 6'8" Cameron Lowe. He looks like he could throw it through a wall standing on the mound. He's a pretty imposing figure, but he is a finesse pitcher, a sinker bowler. Quickly disposing of Alex Gonzalez. And a strikeout for Cameron Lowe, who had some interesting thoughts on Milwaukee Brewers fans.
They were incredible last year when we were not doing so well. And they kept coming to the ballpark, kept cheering us on. And I mean, it's awesome. It seems like every 3rd person walking down the street's got some kind of Brewers gear on. It's a cool town, you know. They love their summer activities, and they love to get out to the ballparks and to the ballpark and tailgate. And I think they do it right, man. They're a fun bunch, it seems like.
Very observant from Cameron Lowe, and I think I found our next Billboard's voiceover guy.
Yeah, he's got a nice voice, doesn't he? Nice and deep.
Yes. Makes me feel a little inferior here in the booth. Cameron Lowe.
Big guy with a deep voice. Yeah.
He's only a foot taller than me. He's got a future in broadcasting.
I'll tell you, he's got a heck of a sinker. He might not have to be a broadcaster if he's pitching like that.
That's right.
I mean, when you have a sinking fastball like he does, I mean, you get so many ground balls. You have to be careful with the breaking ball.
Betancourt, long throw. He bobbles. And it is not in time. That's a tough play for Betancourt. The only reason he had a chance is because Ross does not get down the line very well. But David Ross has a base hit.
Yeah, if he didn't double clutch, he couldn't get the ball out of his glove the first time. If he was able to do that, it might have been an out at first base. Able to get there. That's the easy part of the play, if that's possible. But, you know, the double clutch, he has to go in there twice to get a grip on the baseball. If he gets the grip first, the first time, I think he gets Ross.
So that's a big hit. That brings up the pitcher spot in the batting order, and that means Freddie Gonzalez can go to Brian McCann. Dangerous weapon at the plate for Atlanta.
Off to a terrific start this year. Braves had a very crazy end of spring schedule. A lot of traveling and hadn't had a day off yet in the season, so you're going to give Brian McCann today off. No catching for him today. But he can swing it.
Has 6 hits this year already, 6 for 13 at the plate, 5 RBIs. And a key moment in the game right here and now in the Atlanta 7th. McCann, the kind of bat that can give the Braves the lead quickly.
I'm a little bit surprised that Freddie Gonzalez didn't go to Eric Hinsky in this situation. Another left-hander off the Braves bench, who incidentally was very excited about the Packers' appearance today. Wisconsinite. But now the Braves, you know, they're using their only other catcher as a pinch hitter.
2 balls and a strike on McCann. Broke his bat, and Fielder will take it to the bag. A bullet dodged for Cameron Lowe as McCann goes down. And we are at stretch time at Miller Park. We turn it over to Rob Edwards for presentation of God Bless America.
Brewers and all of Major League Baseball
As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. What a day for Chris Narveson. We talked about maybe some nerves during our Brewers Live pregame. Not even close.
He did a great job. The one thing he went out, he wanted to have command early, and he went out and he used his off-speed stuff early and was able to pitch with his fastball. Big reason why he was successful today.
All right, now the Brewers got to hang on, have a chance to add on some more runs here. Of course, we'll cover everything, get full reaction after the ball game on Brewers Live postgame. Jerry, Davey, and I, guys.
All right, Craig, thank you, and we'll look forward to that. Opening day here at Miller Park. And there you see George Sherrill, former closer in Baltimore. Pitched for Rick Kranitz there in Baltimore, the new Brewers pitching coach. He spent a little time in Los Angeles last season, the last couple of seasons, facing Niger Morgan to start it. A 1-0 game. Brian McCann, who pinch hit last inning, will stay in and catch for Atlanta. Narveson and Cameron Lowe combining for a shutout through 7.
And the Braves have a pretty well balanced bullpen. They've got 4 right-handers and 3 lefties, all of who can throw the baseball pretty well, as Takashi Saito gets loose in the Brewers' pen.
The Brewers setup man preparing for the 8th. Morgan ahead in the count. Our Ho-Chunk Gaming text question today. Jeremy in Waukesha wants to know, do you anticipate the Brewers running more with the addition of Niger Morgan? They were going to run more without Niger Morgan, and Morgan will certainly add to that. And he is aboard here to start the Brewer half of the 7th inning.
And this is an ideal situation to have Morgan take off and try and steal a base. Bottom of the order coming up. We'll see the move of George Sherrill. A lot of times left-handed pitchers are a lot better at holding runners than right-handers. If Morgan can get a jump or he can read the move, you know he's going to take off.
Still trying to get all of his base running gear on. Little wrist guard. I don't question Sherrill taking a look at him over there. He's trying to get that thing wrapped up. So here is Will Nieves. And you know Nieves would love to come up with a big hit here. He has struck out twice with men in scoring position today. Brewers are looking for some runs, trying to add to their 1-0 lead. Each club with 4 hits.
He may be dropping down a bunt here. And you know you're going to hit for Cameron Lowe. You've already got Almonte in the on-deck circle. Get him into scoring position. Take a couple of shots at him.
He does square, and he gets a good bunt down. Sherrill makes the play as Will Nieves drops the second sacrifice bunt for the Crew. And Morgan into scoring position.
Well, now if you had the pitcher coming up and it was earlier in the ball game, you might not do that. You might have Niger Morgan try and steal the base. You ordinarily don't want to bunt to leave it up to the pitcher to drive in a run, but with a pinch hitter coming up, why not?
And the speedy Morgan now at second. Freddie Gonzalez, once the pinch hitter was announced, will head back to his bullpen. So Sherrill faces 2 batters. A walk and a sacrifice bunt, and a pitching change at Miller Park. We'll set up the new Atlanta pitcher when we continue.
The Brewers, and just a reminder, on Sunday, April 24th against the Astros, all fans in attendance get a John Axford bobblehead courtesy of Palermo's Pizza and Piggly Wiggly. Call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com for tickets.
Sellout crowd here at Miller Park, the home opener here, and it is Peter Moylan. Eric Almonte was the announced hitter. Ron Renicky makes a quick change based on Freddie Gonzalez's move. And Moylan, one of the big workhorses in the National League last year, will now face Craig Counsell.
Yeah, back-to-back years, 09 and 2010, 87 and 85 appearances consecutively with earned run averages under 3. He's been good.
Nigel Morgan at second base, 1-0 Milwaukee. As the sun begins to shine through the panels. Counsell takes a strike. It's always great to see the sun, but it can be a bit of a challenge for the left fielder, especially as that sun starts to creep out towards home plate. Counsell was a .333 hitter last year in a pinch hitting role. 0 for 1 this year.
Outfield very shallow, particularly in center and left, so it's going to be tough for even Nigel Morgan to score on a base hit. They don't have very far to come and make a throw to home plate.
Oh, 2 on Craig Counsell, who has experienced opening days here in Milwaukee as a Brewers player, and going back to his days as a child as a fan and a son of an employee. His dad was a longtime employee of the Milwaukee Brewers in the community relations department.
Did a lot of speaking engagements with John Counsell back in the old days.
Bouncer out to Ugla. That is the second out. Nigel Morgan advances to third. 2 gone. Back to the top of the order. And Ricky Weeks.
A lot of hard stuff to Craig Counsell. Moylan able to get ahead early. That sinker, you can see the way that pitch tails away from left-handed batters and just continued to pound the strike zone. 3 pitches. Counsell gets jammed on the third one, and an easy grounder to second base.
Now see if Weeks can play run producer here. He homered in the third, and that has been it offensively for either club. 1-0 Milwaukee. Oh, big sweeping breaking ball from Moylan. At the plate, presented by Wendy's today for Ricky Weeks. Singled his first time up, homered in the third, popped up in the fifth. Weeks already with 5 runs batted in through the first 4 games of the season.
Yep, 3 fastballs to Craig Counsell, the left-hander, and 2 consecutive breaking pitches to Ricky. I think Moylan was watching out in that bullpen saying he's not getting a fastball from me. At least not for a strike.
Now Weeks trying to protect. Ready for the 0-2 from Peter Moylan. And he got him. Snuck a fastball by him. And again, the Brewers come up empty with a runner in scoring position. A tight one here at Miller Park, a pitcher's duel. 1-0 Crew. We go to the 8th inning.
ミルウォーキーブリュワーズに入団してとてもワクワクしています。オープニングゲームへようこそ。
Takashi Saito in his native tongue, welcoming you to opening day here at Miller Park, and he is the primary setup man for Ron Renicky to start the season, and he is on to pitch the 8th in a 1-0 Milwaukee lead.
Saito pitched the entire year last year with the Atlanta Braves, facing his old team. Here today, 56 appearances and a 283 earned run average for Saito and a 2-3 record.
Saito will have the top of Atlanta's batting order. Prado, McLouth, and Chipper Jones. Each club with 4 hits, 1-0 Milwaukee. Top of the 8th. Brewers have left a ton of runners in scoring position today. The only run coming on a Weeks homer in the bottom of the 3rd. As Saito misses down and away to Martin Prado as one of the 4 Atlanta hits.
Yeah, Brewers 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position today. The Atlanta Braves have not had a single at bat with a man at second base.
Chris Narveson started. He went 6 shutout innings, only 3 hits.
And Saito locates his fastball very well ordinarily. He'll throw about 90, maybe 92, but his slider is his best pitch. That's his strikeout pitch. He's got a good one.
There's the slider to strike. Buckled his knees. Well, you love that reaction. That just gives you an idea of how good his slider is to make a major league hitter do this.
No, ordinarily they don't start on the inside corner. That was one of those backup sliders that didn't do much. Just enough to keep him off balance.
That skips away, and Prado able to check his swing. See Prado angry with himself that he's fishing after that pitch.
Pretty standard delivery, nothing really out of the ordinary. A lot of the Pacific Rim pitchers, they have a little bit of a hitch in the giddy up from time to time, but Saito is got a relatively standard delivery to home plate.
Saito, 41 years of age, had a breakout season with the Dodgers, had a long career in Japan, and the Dodgers signed him, saved 39 games for Los Angeles in 07. He was an all-star that year. 3 years with the Dodgers, then the Braves, a year with the Red Sox, and now the Brewers. And the breaking ball missed. Count goes full to Martin Prado. The challenge with Saito this year will be to keep him healthy, to make sure you give him enough rest between outings, and not a guy that you'd expect to pitch often or if at all in back-to-back games.
Yeah, maybe back-to-back on occasion, but probably never 3 days in a row.
See how far up in the box Prado stands, trying to get to that breaking ball before it breaks. Full count. Another one from Takashi. And that's hit deep. Back is Braun. At the wall. Braun looking up. It's gone. game-tying home run for Martin Prado.
Yeah, up and in, and Prado able to pull the hands in and get the big part of the bat on it. Well, Saito able to get a jump out ahead quickly. Just couldn't put him away. He had him 0-2. And check it out. Watch Prado. He's up in that box. Up and in. It wasn't supposed to be up and in. You see Prado with good extension. The belt buckle facing the pitcher. A good technique. Able to get that good extension. Hitting it out in front. Making contact. First time the Braves have had their leadoff hitter on. And they made a count.
Takes Chris Narveson out of the winner's circle. And a game-tying home run, and you think back to all of those opportunities the Brewers had to extend the lead. Coming up empty. And now Atlanta has tied it. Atlanta has now out-hit Milwaukee 5-4. Their first extra base hit. First time anybody had even touched second base today. As Prado goes all the way around for the home run. Ball and 2 strikes on McLeod.
Yeah, ordinarily Saito is not going to be very successful living up in the strike zone, particularly on the 3-2 count. Just could not get that put away slider past Prado. He missed away with it. Ended up leaving one up in the zone, and you know, at 90 miles an hour, you're not going to get away with too many of those.
Just missed. Went for the back door, and McLeod takes ball 2.
A couple of times today, Nate McLeod has taken some very close 2-strike pitches.
Got him that time. Went back to the slider. McLeod down on strikes, and the first out of the 8th inning, and a good bounce back after the home run ball to Prado.
Yeah, that pitch was supposed to be down and away. It ended up and in, and Saito knew it as soon as Prado made contact. Or Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Martin Prado goes yard to tie it.
Both of the runs on home runs today. Ricky Weeks and Martin Prado. All tied at 1 away. Here's Chipper Jones. And this can be a dangerous at-bat for Takashi Saito. Jones with great power, especially from the left side.
Yeah, 3 guys in the middle of this lineup. Jones, Uggla, Hayward. You have to be careful with every one of them.
Jones with a broken bat single his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Now just 4 hits away from 2,500 in his career. Hit hard, but right at Weeks. 2 outs. So after the Prado homer, Saito retires McLeod and Jones, and now he'll face Dan Uggla. That's a rally hat if I ever saw one. They put the shift on for Uggla. 3 infielders on the left side. There aren't many right-handed batters in the league you'd put a shift like this on. But Uggla is one of them.
Yeah, well, your first baseman can't get too far from first base. Got to be able to get over to the bag in a ground ball situation. Well, you're right. But if you're going to do it, Dan Uggla, not a bad guy to put the shift on. He likes to pull the baseball. You have to force him to go to the opposite field.
Hangs one. That one's driven down the line, and a foul ball. Uggla out in front.
Case in point, that's a slider away, and he's able to go out and hook it and nearly hit it out of here. That's the way he stays back. He gets the barrel of the bat ahead of the hands, and he hooks it down the line. That's why it hooked foul. It had that spin on it. It was about 4 feet foul.
And a ball and a strike. Two outs in the eighth, all tied at 1. Prado has tied it for the Braves with a home run. And now Saito behind Uggla. Last year with the Marlins, Uggla played in all but 3 games for Florida. Won the Silver Slugger Award for the best offensive second baseman, which is saying a lot in the National League. Some pretty good hitters that play the position. That one's hit well left field. Braun is going back, looking up, and it's up and out of here. And Dan Uggla has given the Braves the lead. 2 homers in the inning, and it's 2-1 Atlanta.
Yep, he did it again. He hooked another one. This time able to keep it fair off the top of the wall and out of here. Check it out. Hanging slider. And he got it all. Uggla's a home run hitter, a mistake hitter, and certainly a mistake from Saito. Left the breaking pitch out.
Uggla's second home run. And he gives Atlanta the late lead. Now Hayward. Solo home runs from Prado and Uggla in this 8th inning. And that has Brewers fans concerned here at Miller Park. The Brewers will have Gomez, Braun, and Fielder coming up in the bottom of the 8th. Atlanta has a very good bullpen. A lot of hard throwers down there. As Hayward is sawed off. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jason Hayward.
A lot of hard throwers, but really not a clearly defined closer. Freddie Gonzalez has said it's going to be a matchup situation. There's a hard thrower from the left side, Johnny Venters. He can bring it.
Greg Kimball acting as their closer typically. Billy Wagner retired. Had such a good year for Atlanta last year. That's a shot back up the middle, of base hit. 2-strike hit for Jason Hayward. And the Braves coming up with their best inning offensively when it counts. The 3rd hit of the inning.
Yep, another breaking pitch that was supposed to be on the corner, but down. He left it up. So everything that Saito has given up as far as base hits has been up in the strike zone. That's no surprise.
Rick Kranitz, Brewers pitching coach. If you're wondering the communication between Saito and the Puerto Rican-born Will Nieves and Rick Kranitz, well, baseball language is kind of universal, especially pitch selection, what you call pitches, so it's not that big of a deal.
Kind of an interesting dynamic, though, isn't it? 3 different languages.
Saito needs an out. As Alex Gonzalez bats with 2 outs, 2 runs in, and Atlanta now in the lead. And he's fallen behind 2-0. There's Giovanni Gallardo. Was in line for the win in Cincinnati on Thursday. Had to get away late. Gallardo will be up tomorrow against Atlanta, matching up against Derek Lowe. Chased one. Gonzalez trying to put one in the seats.
Man, he's had a tough time with that high fastball today. He's already struck out twice.
Narveson struck him out on the 4th. Cameron Lowe got him in the 7th. Two outs. 2-1 is the count on Alex Gonzalez. And a fastball missed. 3 balls and a strike. This could be Saito's last hitter. Got a lefty coming up next in Freddie Freeman, and Zach Braddock is in the bullpen. Well, he likes him up there, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He can see him well. Tough to get on top of him, but a 3-1 fastball down the middle, up in the zone. Looks too good to take. He's right on it.
Now Freeman at first will take off with the pitch. Saito trying to get out of this 8th inning. The 3-2. Just got a piece. Sun creeping through the panels above the first base grandstand. Runner goes. 3-2 pitch. Popped up. Playable. Nieves makes the catch. Inning is over. But the Atlanta Braves get a couple of solo home runs. Prado and Ugla. And now the Brewers are behind. 2-1. Couple of solo homers from Martin Prado and Dan Ugla. As we go to the bottom of the 8th, this is the first of a 4-game series with Atlanta. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Gallardo's up tomorrow. We're on WMLW tomorrow. And then Wednesday night here at Miller Park, back on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Thursday is a matinee with the Atlanta Braves. You can catch that one on Brewers Radio. The two that have changed this game. And now a 2-1 Atlanta lead. Carlos Gomez leads off. Then Ryan Braun, then Prince Fielder, as Peter Moylan stays in for Atlanta. At least for 2 batters.
Yeah, Johnny Venners is out there getting ready for Prince. There he is.
The hard-throwing left-hander. And Ron Renicky and Jerry Narron hoping for a little late magic to put the first win on the board of the season. Not a bad idea by Gomez, but it goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
Chipper Jones playing heat with the bag at third base, and Carlos Gomez feels as though he's so fast, doesn't even have to bunt it perfectly. Even with the third baseman, even with the bag, he can make it.
That one's hit hard but foul. And the count remains ball and 2 strikes. Gomez 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts. Dale Swaim's big project, the Brewers hitting coach, working with Carlos Gomez. On the ground, Jones on an easy hop. 1 out.
Hey, fans, on Friday, April 8th, the first 20,000 fans 21 and older will receive a pen schedule that's courtesy of Potawatomi Bingo Casino. For more information, call 414-902-4000 or go to the Brewers website, brewers.com.
Brewers down to their last 5 outs. And a swing through the middle of the order now, as Braun will hit with 1 away in the 8th. Hitless today, 0 for 3. Struck out his last time up.
This is a guy very difficult to elevate and get the ball out of the ballpark. Talking about Moylan with that big sinker. Only allowed 5 home runs all last year. That was in 85 appearances. How about this? The year before, 09, 87 appearances, did not allow 1 home run.
Wow.
I mean, you can see why. The way that ball sinks as it gets to home plate. So have to get under it and drive it out of the ballpark.
Well, only Pedro Feliciano had more games last year. Moylan tied for 2nd in the majors with 85 games pitched. So there's a pretty good sample size. As the Brewers closer, John Axford gets loose. 2-1 Atlanta. The Brewers need a bolt. Not much going on offensively today. Only 4 hits, and they've come from 2 different players. Weeks with a pair of hits, including the home run, and Yuniesky Betancourt. One ball, 2 strikes on Braun. In the left, falling fast. It's down for a hit. Just an outstanding piece of hitting by Ryan Braun.
Yep, and he was able to wait back long enough and hook a slider into left. And tough pitches, he fouled some off. And didn't even get a pitch up in the zone. It wasn't a bad pitch. And just like Dan Ugla, able to reach out and hook it into left field. Look at that. I mean, that's a good pitch. And a good hitter with a base hit.
Some serious plate coverage right there as Braun delivers the hit. Now the Brewers have the tying run aboard, a pitching change here in Milwaukee. Won't be pitching around him in a spot like this. The hard-throwing Johnny Venters is on to face Prince.
Now, he's had his troubles so far this year. A couple of innings and a 450 earned run average. He just reaches back and gives it all he has for as long as he can. 79 appearances last year for Atlanta and a 195 earned run average. 93 punch-outs in 83 innings.
Tying run at first. Prince the go-ahead run at the plate. And fielder over to Jones. Might be two. 5-6-3 double play. And just like that, the Braves are out of it. Miller Park, Milwaukee, opening day here. Game number 4 of the season, and the Brewers still looking for their first win of the season. And they're down 2-1 as we go to the 9th inning. Zach Braddock will be on to pitch. Just one appearance so far this year. He picked up a strikeout in a third of an inning against Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's pretty efficient, wouldn't you say? 46 appearances last year for the Brewers, all out of the bullpen, and a 294 earned run average. One of 2 left-handers down in Ron Renicke's bullpen. Mitch Stetter the other.
See what the line looks like. The Brewers got a run in the 3rd inning from Ricky Weeks, a home run. Prado and Ugla with solo homers in the 8th to kick off opening week here at Miller Park. Freddie Freeman will lead off for Atlanta. Bottom of the order coming up against Braddock. For the Brewers in the 9th, Casey McGee to lead off, then Betancourt, and then Niger Morgan. And at this point, they'll need one to tie. Braddock trying to keep it that way.
Looking for a little snatch him back, but first things first, Zach Braddock's got to keep the Braves off the board.
Well, every time Braddock pitches, a lot of eyes on the velocity. Speaking of velocity, Craig Kimbrell heating it up in the Atlanta bullpen. But Braddock came to the big leagues last year at the fastball in the mid-90s, mid to upper 90s. Hasn't really approached that this season. There's a good one, though. 91 well spotted, and down goes Freddie Freeman.
Well, you take a little less velocity with a location like that. That was right on the corner at the knees. The Hall of Fame Express right there. You don't need to throw 96 if you put it there. Nothing you can do with that pitch.
So one gone, and it'll be Brooks Conrad to pinch hit for Atlanta with Brian McCann on deck. Conrad hitting in the pitcher spot, which ended up in the 8th spot of the batting order. Conrad had a flair for the dramatic last year. In an offensive position for the Atlanta Braves, struggled defensively. And they'll ask if he went. No, he didn't, says Alan Porter. Ball to strike. You be the judge.
I agree.
It's a good call.
Held up.
Well, 3-1 now to Conrad. You had McCann coming up next, then you go back to the top of the order. So this is the hitter Braddock needs to retire. Some dangerous bats coming up. Hitters count. Just missed it. Braddock might have gotten away with one as Conrad flies out, 2 gone. 2 up, 2 down here in the 9th.
Yeah, it just goes to show you don't have to be perfect in the strike zone, even on a 3-1 pitch. That was a very hittable pitch, and Conrad got himself out, popped it up.
And it'll be McCann with the bases clean.
You know, sometimes they hit really good pitches, like Ryan Braun's, his base hit off Peter Moreland. That was a good pitch. Ended up a base hit. Then you have a pop up on a pitch right down the middle.
McCann coming off an all-star season again last year. He's been an all-star the last 5 years, and it was his hit that won it for the National League a season ago, giving the Giants home field advantage in the World Series.
It took a while for the National League, but it was well worth it. How many years was it?
Boy,
10 plus?
Yep, got to go back to was it 96?
I shouldn't have asked that question. I apologize.
I'm not into all-star mode yet.
Right, yeah, too early.
Well, McCann looks like the guy who's going to be representing the National League as the catcher in the All-Star game for a while.
Yeah.
Just getting his career going. He's only 27 and already a 5-time All-Star.
Got his vision issues corrected. Seeing the baseball well.
There's a couple of years there going back and forth between glasses, contacts, but still hitting every year. That one is hit high to right. Back is Niger Morgan on the track. Here we go. See if the Brewers can come up with some 9th inning magic. They're down 2-1. Kimbrel coming in. home opener in Milwaukee this year, and Brewers fans hoping this is going to be one to remember. The Brewers are going to have to do it in their final at bat. 2-1 Atlanta. The Braves get 2 solo homers in the 8th inning to take the lead. And it's going to be Craig Kimbrell who picked up a save on opening day against the Washington Nationals. Very hard thrower and a big time prospect, turned major league pitcher for the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, came up in May last year. Had 40 strikeouts in just over 20 innings of work and a 4-0 record. Had a very good spring. And the Brewers need to get something going on the hard-throwing right-hander here.
Casey McGee will start it. It'll be McGee, Betancourt, and Morgan. McGee, a good fastball hitter. And the big fastball of Kimbrell. Not up there.
No. Got to make him get it down in the zone. He's throwing 96 miles an hour.
Kimbrell, just 23 years of age. Picked up his 2nd career save on Thursday. Struck out 2 batters in the 9th inning against the Nationals. 95 on the outside corner. 1-2 to count.
And he makes it look effortless. It's a nice fluid delivery. It doesn't look like he's expending much energy, but it just explodes out of his hand.
Got him. That didn't take long. Kimbrell rings up Casey McGee with the heat and 1 away in the 9th.
Yep, right on the knees. And Casey watches it go by. Kimbrell 95, 96 miles an hour. All fastballs to Casey.
Milwaukee down to their last 2 outs. Here's Betancourt. Has 2 hits today. Betancourt almost hit 1 out in the 2nd inning. He doubled off the center field wall. Singled in the 4th inning. He's 2 for 3. His first 2 hits of the season. Wicked slider. Twice as many strikeouts as innings pitched last year for Kimbrell. And it's 1-2. Another strikeout for Kimbrell. Or did he get a piece? No, he foul tipped it. And it hit the dirt, so a break. So Betancourt just gets a piece. Good call by James Hoy. McCann was whipping it around the diamond there. Thought he had a strikeout.
It appeared as though Betancourt thought he had struck out. Freddie Gonzalez just wants to make sure as to what the call is. You're not going to be able to see a foul tip. And even if it did foul tip, it looked as though that ball was caught in the air. It wouldn't have mattered.
Boy, the Brewers get a break here.
Yeah, that ball was caught by Brian McCann. That should have been a strikeout.
See if they can do something with it. Ball and 2 strikes on Betancourt. And he's gone this time. Betancourt strikes out. And it doesn't matter. Back-to-back Ks for Kimbrell.
Well, a couple of sliders and a fastball up and in, and Betancourt not able to hold up. You start that bat on that big fastball, tough to hold up.
Crew down to their last chance here. Nyjer Morgan. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kimbrell. At At this point, our Menards player of the game is Dan Uggla, whose home run in the Atlanta 8th gave him the lead. 2-0 to Morgan. A base runner would tighten things up. Ron Renicky has sent George Kataris to the on-deck circle. If Morgan can reach. There's strike one. A power threat in Kataris.
Then you got Katse, Jeremy Reed, and George Kataris left on the bench.
2-2. Boy, this guy's the real deal, isn't he? Kimbrel.
Yeah, he can throw. And right now he's throwing for strikes.
Down to the last strike. The 2-2. Just missed. Count goes full. Morgan in a battle trying to get on. Crowd coming to their feet. This place will erupt if Morgan can reach. Got him. Kimbrel strikes out the side. And the ball game is over, and the Brewers go to 0-4, and another one that gets away late here today in Milwaukee. Much more to come on this game. We send it out to Craig Cashon. What do you have coming up for us on Brewers Live, Craig?
Well, Brian, we're going to get inside that Brewers locker room, find out what's going on here in the first 4 games. Also going to address that bullpen as well here today. We're going to hear from Ron Renicky, Brewers manager, all on Brewers Live, coming up next.